Hi, good afternoon. I'm Skyler Butler, Chief Technology Officer at Haden Gray, and I wanted to spend a few moments speaking with you around Cybersecurity Awareness Month around the CIA Triad and why it's time to move on from the model. So, what is the CIA Triad? It's made up of three pillars: confidentiality, integrity, and availability. It's something that we've all been introduced as we've started our cybersecurity journeys together. It's kind of the first page of the CISP handbook. It really covers kind of our understanding of how security is approached. But in 2025, with emerging threats and technology, why does it fail today? Why is it a shortcoming that we need to address? So, if you look at availability and how files are available, uptime, capability, what happens when those files are ransomed and encrypted? Well, they're still available, but they're not accessible. And so that's another area we need to address in the new model. Integrity, as deepfakes and AI has determined a way to generate your CEO's sound, look, tone, tenor, and image, then they can provide you a message that can cause you to do something malicious without you knowing about it. And so we break integrity. And confidentiality, with the advent of quantum computing, as well as artificial intelligence models training on millions of Americans and people abroad's records. We find that confidentiality has also become greatly weakened because standard encryption models are not ready for the next level of quantum. So, what is the new model and how do we approach it? The new model is something called 3C. It was invented by Loris Gutic, who's the CISO at Bright, and he developed a white paper of kind of explaining what the core competencies are. So the first layer, the first C, is core. And that includes the CIA Triad into that, but also adds authenticity, accountability, and resilience into that model. So not only are we looking at uptime and availability, but who's accountable for this information? Is it accessible? Is it resilient to attacks? This will handle things like ransomware, as well as other types of manipulation to your data. The second layer is complementary. This is really where we start building things in like privacy by design, really moving into active compliance. So we're not just attacking frameworks to controls, but we're actually actively looking at how we make compliance better and adhering to the culture, as well as transparency. As these new platforms in the cybersecurity space come out with advanced AI models, they make a lot of decisions. The decisions are black box to us practitioners. So how do we get an understanding of what system decision is being made and why would we approve or not approve that action? So it really reduces the human of the loop capability without that transparency. And then layer three is really built around the context. This includes the societal terms. This includes biases. This includes consent. This includes things like copyright protection. So when you look at the context of the data and who's using it and how it's being used, it gives you a better understanding of how that data needs protected. It helps you implement things like least privilege in RBAC, for example. So why is this important and why do CISOs want to adopt this new model? Well, the CIA Triad has been shown it's not really able to handle today's challenges, but it also gets the CISO out of a metrics-driven KPI discussion and really into a contextual and complementary discussion with their board. How that work would be, instead of talking about availability, we talk about our ability to recover from an attack and really resiliency. We're moving from a protection standpoint to a survival standpoint. Because in this modern era, we're not just attempting to protect our users and our corporate data, but really surviving the onslaught of attacks that us and our users experience every day. It also helps elevate the CISO into talking to the board about things that they understand, right? They're not really caring about metrics. They don't care about the 99.7% of the time that something was blocked. But what they want to understand is how their brand is being protected. How are users being protected? Are they consuming things that could put them in legal hot water, right? When you look at the context and the biases that are being grabbed into these AI models that we're all developing, as well as having an understanding of how we're protecting our brand, right? And really protecting the company as a whole. So if that's piqued your curiosity and you're interested in learning more, please come check out the white paper as well as our blog post on hadengray.com. Thank you.